right, family, let's get into today's lesson. And title of today's lesson is, and it should be a giveaway, right? What do you guys think the title of today's lesson is? Blowing of the trumpets. Now, every year, we have a feast of blowing of the trumpets. Thank the Most High, we have been given the proper days for the feast. I can now take this time to remember the significance of the past feast, right? Now, for some of us, this is our first Feast of Tabernacles.
Trumpets, yeah.
I'm thinking ahead, guys. I'm always thinking ahead. I'm a chess player, right? But for some of us, this is our first time celebrating the Feast of Blowing of the Trumpets and understanding the significance of this holy day. Looking back, I look back throughout the years, and some of us were here that long. I mean, a few of us were here, should I say? Not some of us. A few of us were here, and remember the days where we were keeping this at somebody's house. And, we had trumpets, and there's like 10 brothers outside trying to blow the trumpet. And, none of us could figure it out, but nonetheless, it was just coming together and understanding the importance of this day and the importance of what the Most High was doing. And, to look back at then and see today, especially, with the praise and worship, like sometimes I just sit back and I just watch the room and the praise and worship, and hearing the singing and seeing the praising, and seeing our brother. I'm putting him on the spot, Brother Tyrone today. You know what I mean? Bless us with the vocals. Like just really seeing what the Most High is continually doing, taking us outside of the box, taking us from taking us places that we never even thought we would be. And, I just really want to take this time just to say all praise to the Most High, that I've been able to just witness the growth, witness the impact His truth has had on our lives, right? So let's get into this lesson. Now, yes, we've been selling it throughout the years, but I tell you, each year it feels like, family, we are getting closer and closer to that time. And this lesson is going to kind of give us an understanding of perhaps how close we actually really are. Thank the Most High, we have been given the proper days for the feast and can take this time to remember the significance of the past feast. We also are to understand the significance of the trumpets going forward and how they link into prophecy. Here's a brief lesson in reference to the holy day. Let's get Leviticus chapter 23. And during this month of September, we're going to be in this Leviticus chapter 23 a few times. Right?
All right. So in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, we read in verses 23 down to 25. And it reads, "And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, In the 7th month, and the first day of the month, shall ye have a Sabbath, a memorial of blowing of trumpets, and holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein, but ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Most High."
So every year we would have a feast of the blowing of the trumpets and blow them to gather the people together. These trumpets were also used in time of war and to signal the movement of the community in the wilderness, right? So as we came out of Egypt and we were operating within the desert for 40 years, the blowing of the trumpets, it really was significant. It was, very important to us, right? So when we would leave the camp, trumpets would be blown, trumpet for this side of the camp to gather, for that side of the camp to gather, right? In times of war, to warn the people. So from a community standpoint, the trumpet was really big amongst us, right? Let's continue. Let's get Numbers chapter 10, verse 1.
Book of Numbers, chapter 10, verse number 1.
Right, now hold on, let me stop there. Now I said the trumpet was something big in our communities. Now, I think I'll be fair to say, maybe Brother Victor can help me out with this. But you know, to some degree, maybe this will explain why some of the most gifted trumpet players, I'm going to bet, throw it out there, that we'll find children of Israel amongst them. Right? I don't know. Maybe that's a big gamble, but I think it'll be safe to say, right? But let's continue.
Numbers 10 and 1. And the Most High spake unto Moses, saying, Make thee 2 trumpets of silver, of a whole piece shalt thou make them, that thou mayest use them for the calling of the assembly and for the journeying of the camps.
All right, for the calling in the assembly and the journeying of the camp. Go on.
And when they shall blow with them, all the assembly shall assemble themselves to thee at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And if they blow but with one trumpet, then the princes, which are heads of the thousands of Israel, shall gather themselves unto thee. When ye blow an alarm, then the camps that lie on the east part shall go forward. When ye blow an alarm the second time, then the camps that lie on the south side shall take their journey. They shall blow an alarm for their journeys. But when the congregation is to be gathered together, ye shall blow, but ye shall not sound an alarm.
All right.
And the sons of Aaron, the priests, shall blow with the trumpets, and they shall be to you for an ordinance forever throughout your generations.
For how long?
Throughout your generations.
Go on.
And if ye go to war in your land against enemy and that oppresses you, then ye shall blow an alarm with the trumpets, and ye shall be remembered before the Most High your God, and ye shall be saved from your enemies.
And we would be saved from our enemies. Now, being that we're still in captivity, looking to be delivered, I think it would be a safe bet to say we're going to need some trumpet players, okay? Now let's get an example of this using the trumpets in time of war. I'm going to go first Maccabees. I forgot to add it to the slide, so please forgive me. But we're going to go first Maccabees, chapter 4, and we're going to go 13 to 15, just to get an example of us using the trumpets in time of war.
All right, so first Maccabees, chapter 4, reading 13 to 15. And it reads, Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judah sounded their trumpets. So they joined battle, and the heathen being discomfited, fled into the plain. Howbeit all the hindmost of them were slain with the sword, for they pursued them into Gezerah, and into the plains of Idumea, and Azotus, and Jamnia, so that there were slain of them upon 3,000 men.
Right, so read that for me again, verse 13 and 14 again. Sorry, bro, I missed something.
Wherefore they went out of the camp to battle, but they that were with Judah sounded their trumpets. So they joined battle, and the heathen, being discomfited, fled into the plain.
And the heathen and the adversaries of Israel were discomforted. So we see that, as I said, in time of warfare, these were, just as important as the sword and the instruments that we were actually using to carry out the battle, right? But I want to show you why this is important, and we're going to go into the Targum. And this is out of the Targum. For those that are not familiar with the Targum is pretty much the 5 books of Moses, or as is referred to, the Pentateuch. Pentateuch, right? The Pentateuch, 5 books of Moses. The Tanakh is the prophets as well. So you'll find this in Jewish, and I'm going to say our records, not even Jewish records. That's not even the right term to use it. They found these records in Jerusalem as well. But these were the 5 books of Moses translated for those that couldn't speak the original tongue of Hebrew, right? But let's get the Targum version of this.
So we got Numbers 10 and 10. Also in the day of your gladness, and in your solemn days, and in the beginning of your months, ye shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings, and over your sacrifice of your peace offerings, that they may be to you for a memorial before your God. I am the Most High your God.
Right? No, we want this in the Targum. That's what we want right now. Let's get that. That's what.
Okay.
It's right here. It's right here.
Okay, Targums, sorry. And in the day of your rejoicing and in your solemnities and at the beginning of your months, you shall blow with the trumpets over your burnt offerings and your consecrated victims, and they shall be for a good memorial to you before the Most High your God.
Go on.
For Santana shall be troubled at the sound of your jubile notes.
For who?
For Santana.
Who's Satana? For Satan shall be what?
Troubled at the sound of your jubile notes. I am the Most High your
Right?
God.
So we would also do it in the times of memorial. Why? Because this was also something that would also trouble the enemy, right? Not just the physical enemy, but also the spiritual enemy as well. Showing you that this was actually part of our spiritual warfare as well, right? So these had purpose within the community. However, today some of us blow the trumpet in commemoration of those ordinances. The trumpet functions as a sound to gather the people or warn them of an impending battle or impending war. We also are commanded to warn the people today to gather together as if we were to function in the same purpose as that trumpet. Let's get Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1.
Isaiah chapter 58 and verse number 1.
Go on.
Cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Do what?
Lift up thy voice like a trumpet.
Go on.
And shew my people their transgressions.
And go on.
And the house of Jacob their sins.
Let's get Hosea.
Hosea 8 and 1.
8 and 1. Go on.
Set the trumpet to thy mouth, he shall come as an eagle against the house of the Most High.
Right? Set the trumpet by thy mouth. He shall come like what?
As an eagle against the house of the Most High.
Who's coming like an eagle? Hold on. Come on, family. Who? I swear I heard something else. Right? But we know who exalts himself as the eagle. The American eagle. Or the American, on the American flag, the eagle. Right? Rome, the eagle. You'll be surprised how much of them have the eagle, right? But it says, read that again.
Set thy trumpet to thy mouth.
Right? So we got to warn the people. Why? Because the eagle is about to find prey. Right? Go on.
He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Most High, because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law.
Because what?
Because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law.
Right? So the eagle only has power because of our shortcomings. Right? But nonetheless, he's coming swift. And with that swiftness, that means a lot of us are going to be caught off guard and be prey. Right? And we're going to get that in the lesson. So we are to alert and make a distinct sound in the ears of our people so that they know the way to go. That distinct sound is the true word of the Father, which is the doctrine of Christ, brought forth in the earth. Let's get Hebrews chapter 10, verse 1.
All right, Hebrews chapter 10, read the verses 1 down to 4. Ready?
Yep.
All right. For the law, having a shadow of good things to come, and not the very image of things, can never, with those sacrifices which they offer year by year, continually.
Right? So the law, the feast days, all of these are really a foreshadow of future events that eventually will play out. So what the Most High did something that, in a lot of ways, leaves us with I'm not going to say without excuse, but he left us with preparation, so to speak. Right? That's what the law was. The law was the schoolmaster to prepare us for when Christ comes. So, he left us with pretty much each year preparing, getting used to keeping these things, right? Especially with Feast of Tabernacle. Anybody just go out to Feast of Tabernacle and don't say, hey, you know what? Eventually we will probably be doing this. And say, you know what? I may want to get used to sleeping in a tent. Anyone? No one has that mindset? I know, because I asked that question. Why? Because believe it or not, you have the mindset of some people go to tabernacle and it's vacation mode. So we're bringing the jacuzzi, right? We got the carpet to look like grass, even though we're outside with the grass, right? And I'm like, okay, clearly we forgot what this feast day is about. It's a preparation that the Most High has given us year after year to prepare us for that time, right? And what we found, I mean, think about it, for some of us, I mean, all of us. First year was rocky, right? Rocky, cold. I don't know if I want to do this. Next year we got better, right? Year after year, it got a little less taxing on us, right? We're at a point where, brothers will come to me and be like, Deacon, when are we going to do this for real? And I'm like, careful what you ask for, Rock. Careful what you ask for. But I mean, we're looking forward to coming together one day as that community, right? Where at first it was like, I'd rather just be by myself. And Most High, He'll provide a way, right? But we're actually saying, okay, you know what? We can do this. We can come together. We can build a community. And we'll be okay while the rest of the world is falling apart, right? Keep on going, though.
For then would they not have ceased to be offered, because that the worshippers once purged should have no more conscience of sin. But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year. For it is not possible that the blood of bulls and goats should take away thy sins.
Right? So that was never it. It was always about Christ. It was always about what Christ would do and the salvation that He would bring first to the Jews, or Israel, should I say, but then also to the rest of the world. So even the law of the sacrifice, offering, and the trumpets were still foreshadowing a greater event to go down in the earth. The trumpet is being blown so that the people can gather to understand and accept the sacrifice that Christ became for us all, to make it into the kingdom. It also shows that with the sacrifice will come forth the law, just like it came forth from the temple. Let's look at another instance of significance where the horns was being used. Let's get Joshua chapter 6, verse 1.
Look at Joshua chapter 6. Read in verse number 1. And we're going to be in this chapter for a while. Now Jericho was straitly shut up because of the children of Israel. None went out and none came in. And the Most High said unto Joshua, See, I have given into thine hand Jericho, and the king thereof, and the mighty men of valor.
Hold on. I'm just going to make sure we follow with the slides. All right, keep on going until he's able to catch up. So we're in Joshua now?
Yeah, Joshua chapter 6, verse 3. And ye shall compass the city, all ye men of war, and go round about the city once. Thus shalt thou do 6 days. And 7 priests shall bear before the ark 7 trumpets of ram's horns, and the 7th day ye shall compass the city 7 times. And the priests shall blow with the trumpets. And it shall come to pass that when they make a long blast with the ram's horn, and when ye hear the sound of the trumpet, all the people shall shout with a great shout, and the wall of the city shall fall down flat, and the people shall ascend up every man straight before him. And Joshua the son of Nun called the priests, and said unto them, Take up the ark of the covenant, and let 7 priests bear 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Most High.
All right. Now what verse we are?
At 7.
Verse 7.
And he said unto the people, Pass on, and come past the city, and let him that is armed pass on before the ark of the Most High. And it came to pass, when Joshua had spoken unto the people, that the 7 priests bearing the 7 trumpets of ram horns passed on before the Most High, and blew with the trumpets. And the ark of the covenant of the Most High followed them. And the armed men went up before the priests that blew the trumpets, and the reward came back after the ark. And the priests going on and blowing with the trumpets. Verse 10. And Joshua had commanded the people, saying, Ye shall not shout, nor make any noise with your voice, neither shall any word proceed out of your mouth until the day I bid you shout. Then shall ye shout.
Right? Now hold on. How are we looking over there? Froze? Okay. Keep on going.
Verse 11. So the ark of the Most High compassed the city, going about it once.
Read the commentary.
Come. And they came into the camp and lodged in the camp. And Joshua rose early in the morning, and the priests took up the ark of the Most High. And the 7 priests bearing 7 trumpets of ram's horns before the ark of the Most High went on continually and blew with the trumpets, and the armed men went before them. But the reward came after the ark of the Most High, the priests going on, and the blowing with the trumpets. And the second day they compassed the city once and returned into the camp. So they did 6 days. And it came to pass on the 7th day that they rose early about the dawning of the day and compassed the city after the same manner 7 times. Only on that day they compassed the city 7 times. And it came to pass at the 7th time, when the priests blew the trumpets, Joshua said unto the people, shout, for the Most High hath given you the city. And the city shall be accursed, even it, and all that are therein to the Most High. Only Rahab the harlot shall live, she and all that are with her in the house, because she hid the messengers that we sent. And verse 18, and ye in any wise keep yourselves from the accursed thing, lest ye make yourselves accursed when ye take of the accursed thing and make the camp of Israel a curse and trouble it. But all the silver and gold and vessels of brass and iron are consecrated unto the Most High. They shall come into the treasury of the Most High. Verse 20. So the people shouted when the priests blew with the trumpets, and it came to pass when the people heard the sound of the trumpet, and the people shouted with a great shout, that the wall fell down flat, so that the people went up into the city, every man straight before him, and they took the city. And they utterly destroyed all that was in the city, both man and woman, young and old, and ox and sheep, and donkey, and the edge of the sword, with the edge of the sword. But Joshua had said unto the 2 men that had spied out the country, go into the harlot's house, and bring out thence the woman, and all that she had, as ye swear unto her. Last verse here. And the young men that were spies went in and brought out Rahab and her father and her mother and her brethren and all she had, and they brought out all her kindred and left them without the camp of Israel. All right. So I'll read the commentary here now. It says the situation is significant, and the destruction came at the last of 7 trumpets. And we are to look at the future trumpets, which will have come to pass as destruction comes upon the earth, which we're seeing some of those signs of those trumpets now. So very interesting there.
Make sure this is plugged in.
Our next scripture is going to be Revelations chapter 12.
Hold on there, bro. All right, we're gonna have to share this.
Go ahead.
And cut. Let's go into Revelation.
Revelations chapter 12. We'll be reading verses 7 down to 12. And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not, neither was there a place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death.
And they loved not their lives unto the death. Go on.
Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time.
Right? Now, I want to actually do something. And I'm here, family, you can see, definitely bear with me. I'm here multitasking. But I want to get this as well. I want to read this again in the NLT for a second. Revelations 12. And I want that last verse again.
12 and 12?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to the book of Revelations and the NLT. And reading that same verse, Revelations 12, verse 12. And it reads,
You got it? Let me get it. And it reads, Therefore rejoice, O heavens, and you who live in the heavens, rejoice. But terror will come on the earth and the sea, for the devil has come down to you in anger, knowing he has little time. So what did Christ do for us? Right? And let me read the commentary. Sorry. So it says, with the victory that came with Christ, the serpent was cast out, and the countdown of the fall of his dominion began. So Satan understood that with what Christ did, he has a limited amount of time before his dominion comes to an end. Right? So through that, he would bring a lot of destruction, havoc, and whatnot. And this is what we're about to see in the earth. Now, actually, guys, bear with me, because I need my computer. And I promised you guys that I would get this for you. Now, reset the program and see if you get the program back. Now, I want to read this, and this is out of the Dead Sea Scrolls. And we're going to have to disconnect for a second so I could get back my screen. And I want to read this for you guys. And it is in photos. And it is in photos. Where's Brother Paulion when I need you? Hold on, family. I will find it. Recent. Hold on, family. I'm looking for my screenshot. Where do the screenshots go? All right, let me take this for a second while you work on that. I have to find this. It's going to bother me. So the screenshot that I wanted to show was talking about the shortening of the time. But what I'll do is I'm going to look for it, and we're going to continue, right? Now, at the same time, I need the computer up running because we have video clips that we're going to need to sync in. And Brother Paya, that screenshot that I took, where would I find it?
On your desktop.
Okay. And it's on my desktop, right?
Downloads.
Screenshots.
Okay.
It just says screenshots. It only says screenshots. All right. All right, we'll come back and I'll find it after. Let's continue.
Revelations?
Let's get Revelations.
All right, so we're going to the book of Revelation, or staying in the book of Revelations rather, and we're just going back about 6 chapters to Revelations chapter 6.
Now we have some video we want to show at Revelation as well, but hopefully we can get the computer up and running back.
Okay.
Well, let's go.
Revelations chapter 6 and verse number 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and the power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
Right? So let's pause there for a second. So as we said, with Christ's victory, what Christ was able to do, he was able to open up the 7 seals, right? As well as it would lead to the 7 trumpets with the 7 angels being blown, right? Mm-hmm. And all of this would mark events that would happen in the earth, but also the fall of Satan's kingdom, right? Let's go again.
And they that should kill one another, and that they should kill.
No, let's walk through it one more time from the top.
Okay. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were, the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, Come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. And when he had opened the second seal.
Right, so everyone knows who that first horse is? Conquering and whatnot? Was Christ. Right, let's get the second one though.
I heard the second beast say, Come and see. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
To do what?
To take peace from the earth.
Go on.
And that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
Go on.
And when he had opened the third seal, I heard and the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Right, now how are you looking over there, guys, with the computer? We ain't got 5, we got less than that. Go on.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine.
And see not that you hurt the oil and the wine. So what is this next horse bringing? Anybody? Famine, right? Famine. Now, with the direction on how we're seeing things going, family, do we see it happening? Right? Now, one of the things that a lot of the financial, districts and communities speaking about is, are we in a recession? Is a recession coming? Right? So everybody is anticipating it. It's just, will this be worse than the Great Depression? That's what a lot of people are wondering. But they know it's coming, right? Go on.
Verse number 7. And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, Come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death.
A what? What color horse?
Pale horse.
And what did this horse bring?
And his name that sat on him was Death. And hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death.
I need to read that horse one more time. But let me follow with you while you're reading about that horse. Let me get with you. Make sure I'm reading about that. Because I want to show you what follows this horse. Go on.
Revelation 6, verse number 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth.
Verse 8 again. Walk with me slow, Rock. Go on.
6 and 8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name that sat on him was Death.
Go on.
And hell followed with him. And power was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth to kill with sword, and with hunger,
and with hunger,
and with death.
and with death. Now, what is that death speaking about? Anybody know? Diseases, plagues. I'll read it in NLT, and it says, to kill with the sword and famine and diseases and wild beasts, wild animals. Now, what are we hearing now? Are we hearing a familiar tune in the earth once again? Right? And what is that tune? There's another one coming our way. Right? They're already talking about another
Monkeypox.
jab coming very soon. They've already, said Africa or whatnot, but it's funny, yesterday, driving in the car, my wife always listens to like world events, news stations or whatnot. Me, not so much, I'll take music, but I leave them on because they're very informative. So I was listening, and they said, you know what, they had to stop conflict in Israel because there was an outbreak of Mpox.
Monkeypox.
That's what Mpox is, Mpox, monkeypox. So I said to myself, hold on. The first report, what was the first report? In Africa. So it must have jumped a long way to make itself in Israel. So we know that's not the case. But what are perhaps one of the things I'm not going to say these two places, but one of the things that I'm going to say that particular place, talking about Israel, has in common with the rest of the world. And I'm going to say they were the first, and I'm going to say the first, and very, very, what's the word? I'm going to say very aggressive with pushing that jab agenda, right? So to see what we're seeing there, it's not a surprise. And I say that why? Because while we were over here in phases, I think test 1 or test 2, they were already in 4 and 5 over there, showing you it was more advanced over there. But what does that tell us over here? It's only a matter of time. It's coming. It's coming, right? Now, audio team, how we looking? I need that pale horse because I want to show you guys something they showed us. And brothers, can I just get maybe those lights? No. Those lights over there, the top one. And let's play these clips. Now, this is from the Olympic Games. All right, let's go back. Read for me again, that horse again.
And I looked, and behold, a pale horse.
A what?
A pale horse.
What color does that horse look? Some will say maybe it's silver, right? But it kind of looks pale to me. Go on.
And his name that sat on him was Death.
And his name was what?
Death.
Go on.
And hell followed with him.
And hell followed with him. This was the part of the opening ceremony for the Olympics, right? I said, okay, you know what, because I saw this coming out of Babylon, for those who watch coming out of Babylon. I said, you know what, let me kind of see what's the significance of this horse. Well, they said, and I was going to add it in the clips, but for time's sake, I kind of read it. They said the significance of this horse is pretty much to utilize the spirit of the game, the spirit of peace. So when I heard that, what do you guys think I said? What came to my mind? When they say peace,
looking for the sword.
Sudden destruction. So it's only right that the horse of death comes in and ushers in the games to the gods. Now, for some of us, for the guests who may not know, we have to understand that the Olympics, this is what they are, games to the fallen gods. Zeus, right? Poseidon, all the fallen gods that we know Satan. Now, the plot thickens. But better yet, the plot thickens. So we got that horse, right? Mm-hmm. Let's get Revelations 9 to 10. Because we never read that part.
All right, Revelation 6, verse number 9.
Right, and we could keep the lights because we got one more video.
And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held.
And he saw what?
I opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High and for the testimony which they held.
Go on.
And they cried with a loud voice, saying, How long, O Most High, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth?
Go on.
And white robes were given unto every one of them, and it was said unto them that they should rest yet for a little season.
Right, so the righteous that are dead in Christ, they're waiting. They're waiting for Christ's return. They're waiting for their return. They're like, how long? And Christ says, hold up. Gave them their white robes. So they already got their robes. They're just waiting for the crowns. And what did he say to them? Go on.
Rest yet for a little season unto their fellow servants also, and their brethren that should be killed as they were should be fulfilled.
So what does this tell us, family? There's more to come. There's more that will be part of this lot, right? And we all want to make it, but some of us will have to be a witness against this world. Some of us will be martyrs. But regardless of where we stand or what part of the equation we play, one thing that we won't be separated from is from the reward and the inheritance, right? Let's get the next one. So hold on, let's continue. And you know what? Let's just turn on the lights because I know we have the camera.
That's it on Revelation 6. So
And no, we got more coming.
Revelation 8.
Let's get Revelation chapter 8.
All right. Revelations 8 and verse number 6. So we're just jumping over a couple of chapters. Revelations 8. We'll pick on up at 6, reading down to 13, I believe. And the seven angels, which had the seven trumpets, prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood. And they were cast upon the earth, and the third part of the trees was burnt up, and all trees and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed.
Right? These are all the things that will take place in the earth, right? Go on.
And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp, and it fell upon the third part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of waters. And the name of the star is called Wormwood, and the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters.
So a third part of the waters became poisonous, and as a result, many will die from the water, right? Now, will this be the result of the nuclear fallout that we know is going to happen? And if you're a person who watched TV like me, you'll see that there was a time period over the summer where a lot of the TV shows that were going on was like dystopia, nuclear strikes. There's one show, Fallout. All these different shows are going into this mindset of a nuclear strike, right? In New York, there was a recent report. You can all check this out. There's a recent report talking about what would happen if New York was ever hit with a nuclear strike. So they know this is coming, right? Go on.
And many men died of the waters because they were made bitter.
Go on.
And in the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars.
Go on.
So as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it.
And the day didn't shine for a third part of it, right? Now, going back to the water becoming wormwood. While the rest of the world may be suffering, may be dying from drinking this water, what's one thing the children of Israel know how to deal with? We got a list of long things, but I mean, I want to see who knows their Bible stories. Do we got to worry about wormwood?
No.
Why don't we got to worry about wormwood?
Makes the water sweet.
Say that again?
Makes the water sweet.
No, I don't make the water sweet. It make the water poisonous. But when the children of Israel were faced in such a circumstances, the Most High told them to take the bark, I believe it was the bark, and throw it in the well, and therefore the well was cured and not poisonous unto the men. Right? So we understand that the Most High has the ability to turn poisonous water into drinkable water. We'll be okay. In fact, we probably won't even have to worry about that water. Why? Because we also understand that the Most High in the desert can make it into a flowing river. Scriptures tell us this, right? Right? Let's continue though. No, let's read that moon and the stars again. I want to read that part again.
And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So as the third part of them was darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise.
Right, so let me read this article. And I'll try to make it brief. It says, Microsoft billionaire founder Bill Gates is financially backing the development of sun dimming technology that would potentially reflect sunlight off the Earth's atmosphere, triggering a global cooling effect. Now, another article I heard about, another article is talking about spraying, they call it stardust, I believe. And pretty much they want to block the sun in order to help or combat against global warming. So I see a few hands up. But when the Bible talks about the sun being smitten, smitten means to be hit, as well as the stars and the moons. And we're reading reports talking about, hey, they want to block the sun. And I heard about these reports throughout the years. They want to block the sun in order to, help, because eventually it's going to cause damage, and the ozone, the ozone layer doesn't have enough protection, and we're going to get burned up, cancer, all these different excuses. But the Bible testifies that eventually they will accomplish this, right? Now I see a few hands up. Brother Michael, let me start with Brother Michael at the back, then I get Avery right here.
Yeah, so there's a TV show called Snowpiercer. I don't know if
Yes, Snowpiercer. I remember that. I know that show. When they're on the train,
Yeah.
because it's all frozen.
they sprayed something into the sky to do exactly this, and then the world just facing ice age.
Right? So,
And they live on a train now, it's a power train.
and going around the whole world, basically, right? Now, Moses says only a third part, we'll still get some sunshine, right? But we can see that these things are not too far-fetched, right? In fact, we understand as believers that the word of the Most High will not come back void, right? Let's continue, though.
Verse number 13. And I beheld and heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, Woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the three angels, which are yet to sound.
Right? So there's still 3 more to go. Now let's get the next angel, or the 5th angel sounding. We're at number 5. Go on.
Okay, going into Revelation chapter 9 and verse number 1. And the 5th angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit.
Go on.
And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of smoke of the pit. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded them
Let's pause there. No, actually, continue reading, and then we're going to pause there right now. Go on.
And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of the Most High higher in their heads.
Right? So those without the seal will not be protected. Right? Revelations 9:1.
Revelations 9:1. And the fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. And he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit.
Right? Now, some went to the Olympics thinking it was all about, I'm just here to run track. I didn't come to all this. Big ritual going on. But the reason why I show this, family, is because you guys remember what the Olympics 2012 closing games were? Anybody remember that?
Yeah.
What was it?
It was people in hospital beds.
People in hospital beds and nurses dancing. What did we see 6 years later? Same thing. Hospital beds, nurses on YouTube dancing, all of that. So the Bible, we know not based off the rituals at the game, we know biblically speaking from the Bible these things are going to happen. But they gotta, it's like, they call it lesser magic, where they gotta let the world know what they're doing before they do it. So looking at that, we're not 100% sure, right? Because, the Bible says we prophesy in part, right? But let's see, they did it in 2012, and 6 years later, the pandemic came. The real show came. They did this year, and where does 6 years from now take us? 2030. Now we know by it's actually, we got better with math, 32, right? Am I wrong?
6?
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I stand corrected.
24 now, yeah.
You're my sharper than mine. All right. 6 years from now. Now we know 2030 to be what? What are they trying to accomplish by 2030? One world order? The fourth industrial revolution? The system where you will own nothing and love it?
Yep.
The system where in order to be part of society, everyone will have to have an RFID identification or some type of biometric in order to proceed in this system. So I'm saying, based on past evidence, we could definitely bank on 2030 being, even the years leading up to that, a lot of things are going to be happening.
Implemented.
Right? And they are happening right as we speak, right? We're seeing what's going on in the Middle East, and we know all these things link up to prophecy, right? But according to the games, they opened up the pit. The angel came down, and what do these spirits or demons have power to do? Go back. Verse 4.
Verse number 4. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass.
Yep.
That they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads.
Go on.
And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it.
And in those days man shall seek death and shall not find it. Go on.
And they shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them.
And death shall flee from them. Now, family, I know we've spoken about this over and over again, but prior to us seeing what we're seeing, we used to say, okay, this was kind of over our heads. But now we're seeing more shows, Walking of the Dead, zombie this, zombie that, only to find out that Central of Disease, CDC, had a zombie report. What do you do in the event of a zombie apocalypse? Why would they have that? Amazon, I think Amazon also had one too. In case of a, and that's pretty funny when you think about it. In case of a zombie apocalypse, we cannot deliver your package. Like, I think my package is the last thing I'm thinking about during a zombie apocalypse. But why do they have these things, right? Military doing urban training with occupants acting like zombies in urban cities. They have a full manual on how to engage. And you know what they're saying? They're saying, hey, you know what? We got to stop rainwater because rainwater is going to be a reliable source. They're talking about animals with mutations and whatnot. And that's why when we read it, it says how this angel he brought death, plagues, and killed with wild beasts. And I started thinking about, you know what I mean? Thinking about all the things they have in this report.
They're already mutating the animals.
Right? We're seeing hybrids. They're doing the splicing, should I say, right? Well, let's continue. Let's get Amos chapter 9, verse 8.
The Amos chapter 9, we'll be reading 8 down to 10 if you want to write it down. It reads, Behold, the eyes of the Most High God are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, said the Most High. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
So all the sinners of my people, those that have not met the mark, those that have not went into the water, those that are not under the hedge of protection of the Most High in Christ, the hope's not looking too hopeful, basically, right? For those that stand on the sideline. Go on.
Which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us.
Right, but what are their minds saying? Because if they understood the severity of this and the time that we're heading into, they would say, you know what? It's time for me to get to know the Most High. But a lot of people are like, this ain't going to hurt us. This ain't going to affect us. Go on.
Yes,
and the Bible tells it. They shall be doing what during that time? It shall be like the days of Noah. They were eating and drinking, right? And believe it, even with all the destruction that's about to, everything that we read, parts of the water being destroyed, fields being destroyed, grass, vegetation, the famine, and all of that. Believe it or not, even with all those things happening all around us, some people are still not going to understand the time that we are in. And you know what they're going to continue to do? You know what they're going to give the people? Bread and circus. Some will say, okay, what's bread and circus, Deacon? Well, it's what the Romans did. It was keep the people distracted. So that while they're distracted, they don't have time to think about the bigger things that are going on. So I thought about it. I said, you know what? How are they feeding into this distraction? Well, Ford, I got to be careful with all the names. I'm throwing people's names out there. They might email me one day. But I mean, now, you know what? You can buy liquor in every convenience store. Like, out of all the things we need right now. Right? But I find that regardless of what's going on in the world, even when it's all shut down, guess what? You always have entertainment, right? You always have booze, right? Alcohol and whatever, your appetite. And what else? Is there anything else? Huh? They might not have food, but you have the entertainment. Because if we can keep you distracted enough, you don't have to think about how hungry you are, right? But that's what they're going to continue to do. You want to say something?
Yeah, it's so scary because I'm thinking 25 years ago when I began in the field, the young people I work with didn't have such access to cannabis, and now all the young people we work with, they're all high
Yeah.
12 p.m. All of them report smoking. We just sat there and listened why they don't come to programs and we can't work with them.
Yeah.
They're all smoking.
Yeah.
They have such easy access to edibles and all kinds
I mean, those don't close down either. Those don't close down either during, like during COVID,
Right.
right? So, but we understand what it is. And if it's not that, then it's a world event. It's something here. It's, it's politics and whatever they can do to keep you not looking at what's really going on all around you, right? And one of the things that I realized is that and because majority of people are so plugged in, it's like, I never realized how bad an area was being in the area. Is sometimes when we are able to look out from the outside in, we can more assess to say, hold on, this is really worse than we thought. And a lot of people, they're head in. They're plugged in full time. Go, 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 go. Nobody's sitting back and saying, you know what? Let me invest in the Spirit. Let me invest in the things of the Most High. Right? And that's by design. Let's continue, though. And let's get...
Zechariah.
Let's get it?
All right, so in the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, reading verses 9 and 10. It says, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of his house. His hands shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Most High of hosts has sent me unto you. For who hath despised the day of small things, for they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel.
Go on.
With those 7, they are the eyes of the Most High, which run to and fro through the whole earth.
Right? So there are 7 angels who oversee all the situations of mankind with several angels under them. These are called the Most High's eyes and are in charge of the trumpets which shall bring forth his purpose, right? So when we talked about those 7 angels, these 7 angels are the 7 archangels that stand before the ark of the Most High, or the throne of the Most High. And they go to and throughout the whole earth, reporting everything that they see. So when it talks about how you had men, the angels that went to Sodom and Gomorrah, to bear witness to see if what they were hearing was actually true.
Yep.
They were part of this group. It was few out of the 7. Now, let's actually get their names. We're going to get a little bit more specific. We're going to give everybody their honor, so to speak, even though we know Most High and Christ.
And these are the names of the holy angels who watch.
Who do what?
Who watch.
Who watch. And what do they watch? They watch the sinful nations. This is out of the book of Enoch, chapter 20, verse 1.
Uriel, one of the holy angels, who is over the world and over Tartarus.
Go on.
Raphael, one of the holy angels, who is over the spirits of men.
Go on.
Ragiel, one of the holy angels, who takes vengeance on the world of the luminaries. Michael, one of the holy angels, to wit, he that is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Serachiel, one of the holy angels, who is set over the spirits who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, one of the holy angels, who is over paradise and the serpents and the cherubim. Remiel, one of the holy angels, whom the Most High set over those who rise.
Right? So these are the 7 angels that are before the throne that are blowing the trumpets, right? Now let's continue. Let's go to Revelation chapter 10.
Right, so the book of Revelations chapter 10, I'll read in verse 7. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, when he shall begin to sound, the mystery of the Most High should be finished, as he had declared to his servants the prophets. Jumping over to Revelations chapter 11, reading 15 down to 17. And the 7 angels sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, the kingdoms of this world are become the kingdom of our Lord.
Right, so by the 7th angel sounding his trumpet. No different than when the 7th trumpet was blown during the time of Jericho, right? The land of Canaan became the land of the Most High, became where the kingdom of the Most High would be established, right? It was the shift of dominion. Because prior to that, who was in the land? As we said, the Canaanite, the Anunnaki, the giants, and all these different things, abominations that the Most High didn't create. So when Joshua and the men came over, blowing the 7 trumpets with the priest, it marked that fall. And this is the same way how this final trumpet, the 7th trumpet, will also mark the fall of Satan's kingdom. Go on.
And of his Christ, and he shall reign forever and ever.
And he shall reign for where?
Forever and ever.
Go on.
And the 24 elders which sat before the Most High on their seats fell upon their faces and worshipped the Most High, saying, We give thee thanks, O Lord God Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned.
Revelation 16, verse 17.
Revelation chapter 16, verse number 17. And the 7th angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, It is done. And their voices, and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake, and so great. And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before the Most High, to give unto her the cup of the wine of her fierceness of his wrath. And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven.
Right? Now, one thing that I want to say, I'll praise to the Most High. By this time, we'll be out of here. Okay? But they actually have plans and maps where they show you that they know that eventually America will be broken into 3. Right? They talk about how all the nuclear plants are actually built on fault lines, right? They talk about, what was it, Great Canyon, or, I'm bad with names, right?
Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon, thank you. Grand Canyon, saying that, hey, if any catastrophe hits America, that place is going to go up, right? So, as I said, they know these things are coming. And in fact, what you'll find, and we talked about this during Passover, a lot of the 20-minute cities and smart cities that they're building and whatnot, they're actually placing people in these same places that they know when the earthquakes happen, a lot of people will be affected. They're actually, when you look at the maps of where they're placing a lot of these smart cities, it's really in these areas, especially on the other side of the border, right? But let's continue. Let's get Isaiah. And let me read this. It says, with these 7 angels will come great destructions, and we are to be aware of those trumpets, as they are a sign that a serious spiritual war is soon to come. Now let's look at what signs we are to see in those days when the trumpets are sounding. Let's get Isaiah chapter 27, verse 13.
Okay, Isaiah chapter 27, verse number 13. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown.
That the great trumpet, that's that 7th trumpet, go on.
And they shall come which were ready to perish in the land of Assyria, and the outcasts of the land of Egypt, and shall worship the Most High in the holy mount at Jerusalem.
Right, so we know with that final trumpet will be Christ that will bring us back into the land. The dead in Christ, well, let me not put the cart before the horse, but we know this. The dead in Christ will rise. Christ will come and save us within the wilderness, within the outer borders. And eventually he will lead us back into Jerusalem, right? So with the finalization of these trumpets, there will be great deliverance of the Most High's people that are left upon the earth after the great destruction is to come. Let's get this. Let's get a Apocalypse of Baruch. And we're really just going to, for time's sake, just get verse 19. So it should be what's highlighted, what's bold, sorry.
Okay, so it says, for these parts of that time are reserved.
Right, so for these parts, with all the seals, with all the trumpets, with everything that's transpiring that we read about, that is going to happen. Go on, read that again.
For these parts of that time are reserved, and shall be mingled with one with another, and minister one to another.
Right, so these things won't happen systematically how we're reading, like one after the other. They will be mingled with one another. Right? These things will be happening where, because, just read it. Read it.
Con, you want to get it from the top?
Go on, yeah.
Con. All right. And he answered and said unto me, into 12 parts is that time divided?
No. Okay, go on.
Yeah, okay. Is that time divided? Each one of them is reserved for that which is appointed for it.
No. When I said read from top, verse 14.
14?
Yes,
Okay.
14.
For these parts of that time are reserved and shall be mingled one with another and ministered one to another.
Go on.
For some shall leave out some of their own and receive it instead from others, and some shall complete their own that of others, so that those may not understand.
So that those may not understand. Go on.
Who are upon the earth.
Who are upon the earth? Those that are upon the earth, that are not in their Bible, that are not under the hedge of the Most High. The Most High is going to allow these things just to mix up to the point where those that don't have eyes to see won't see them for what they really are. Go on.
Who are upon the earth in those days, that this is the consummation of the times.
That this is the consummation of the time, the end of the times. We're in the last days. Go on.
Nevertheless, whosoever understandeth shall then be wise.
Right? But whoever shall understand then shall be wise. Why will they be wise? Because they will be able to prepare accordingly. They will understand the importance of being under the Most High's hedge. Right? So these are the real trumps. And they're signs to look for. As the wise, we will see them and prepare themselves and prepare ourselves, should I say, right? We who are wise are to see these things and not fear, but thank the Most High that we can hear the trumpets even when the rest of the world ignores the signs. Let's get Matthew chapter 24, verse 4.
All right, book of Matthew chapter 24, reading verse number 4.
Go on.
And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right? We read about these things in Revelation as well. They're part of the seals, they're part of the trumpets. Go on.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilence, and earthquake in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
Go on.
And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because of iniquity shall abound.
And because iniquity shall abound. Go on.
The love of many shall wax old.
The love of many shall wax cold. Now I thought about this morning, family, and it's what's being spoken about here? When it says the love of many shall wax cold, what's being spoken about? Anyway. Say that again? So being desensitized, the love towards one another, whatnot, right? And I'm with you on that. You want to say that?
People will be easily offended.
People easier offended, right? And we're seeing that, right? So we're living in a time where we're seeing the love of many waxing cold. We're living in a time where many people, for just telling them the truth, they're offended. So my thing is, what I'm reading here, we're not there yet of what I'm reading here. So could this actually be saying something else? Read it one more time.
Con. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Right? Now, we know it's going to get so bad. And because it's going to get so bad, the love of many shall wax cold. Now, this is where we bring it a little step higher. Christ says if you're cold, what? He shall do what? He will spew you out.
Lukewarm, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry. It's either you're hot
Cold.
or you're cold. But we know if you're cold, you're spewed out as well. Right? He wants hot tea. Right? Well, let me not say like that. Let me die down. Right? But we know hot is what we want to be. The adversary is cold. We want to be hot. But it says, the love of many shall wax cold. So let's rethink about that. The love of Christ. Because it's going to get so bad, so chaotic. The love of many of us as believers, that zeal we had for the Most High, it's going to get cold. It's going to die down. And a lot of us is not going to keep the integrity during the time of the real test. Because believe it or not, that's the real test. I'm putting you through adversity to see if everything I had you read and everything Deacon, the elders, everyone was talking about, Christ was, the apostles, everything was talking about, if now you're going to put it into practice. Or, because the love of many is going to get so cold, you also are going to get cold as well and go into the same direction in perdition, into destruction as the rest of the world. And why is this a fair bet to say that maybe this is the mindset that's actually being read here? Because look what it says right after that.
But he that shall endure to the end,
But he that shall endure unto the end,
the same shall be saved.
the same shall be saved. So family, regardless of what's going on, the trumpet, the destruction, and all these things, we have to stay serving the Most High at rejoicing. Because we understand that with the fall of this world brings forth what? The rise of our dominion under Christ. So it's a sad way to rejoice. You know what I mean? Because it's a sad way to rejoice. But I want us to stay focused on the race and the prize at the end of the race. And that's salvation, and that's a kingdom, an everlasting kingdom that we all desire to be part of. Right? Go on.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Go on.
When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains, and let them which on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let them which is in the field return back and take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in that days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, Salakia family, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved.
Right, unless those days will be shortened, right? And we talk about this throughout the weeks. Family, we see the days, they're getting short. They're real short. Go on.
But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Right,
Then,
now in the Dead Sea Scrolls, now that I found it, and it says, this is Dead Sea Scrolls. This is the Dead Sea Scrolls uncovered by, I think his name is Michael Wisely, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't want to lose the page. But it says, but the days will hasten on fast, until all mankind will say, are not the days hurrying on, in order that the children of Israel may inherit their land? So they know this. We may not understand this, but they understand this. And as we said, Revelation 12, Satan coming down, knowing he has a short time. So if he knows he has a short time, so do his minions. So they're going to be doing everything to prevent Christ's prophecy. And family, we got to hold on and just hold on tight and endure, right? You want to say something, Sister Sandra? That is in the Dead Sea Scrolls. Dead Sea Scrolls Uncovered. Let me get the title. Okay, come see me after I give you the title, right? But it is the Dead Sea Scrolls Uncovered. You can find this on Amazon. You can find it also as a PDF. I forgot my book, so I was able to find it as a PDF, right? But let's continue. Let's close off the lesson.
then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christ and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, and so much that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even into the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the earth to the other.
Right? So the signs are clear, and we are in those days that Christ spoke of. And the gathering of the elect, which shall undergo a great change. Let's get Psalms 81, verse 1 to 6, and then 1 Corinthians will be our closing scripture.
All right. Psalms 81 and 1 to the chief musician. Just like here. Sing aloud unto our God's strength. Make a joyful noise unto the God of Jacob. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel and the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow the trumpet in the new moon and in the time appointed on our solemn feast day. This he ordained in Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. I removed his shoulder from the burden, his hands were delivered from the pots.
Right, so the trumpet is also a sign of great joy, and feasting to represent our deliverance, just like we were delivered from servitude in Egypt. We are once again beginning to be delivered from our mental and physical slavery right here, right now in Babylon. Let's get 1 Corinthians. We're going to close out here, 15 and 50.
Book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, reading 50 to 52. Now this I say, brethren, that flesh and blood cannot inherit the kingdom of the Most High, neither doth corruption inherit incorruption. Behold, I shew you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Right, so pray that the Most High find you worthy to see those days and hear those trumpets clearly and endure. Happy feast of blowing of the trumpets. With that being said, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shalom.